Well, any lingering doubt is gone. The coronavirus outbreak is accelerating. Tonight, the world is reacting and responding, while here in Canada, the impact on daily life is growing.
Around this time last year, Western University abruptly canceled all in-person classes and sent students living in residence home. The move was considered precautionary at the time, but looking back, it's clear that canceling classes was just the first domino to fall in what has become a long, tumultuous year. Understandably, many students didn't immediately grasp the severity of the situation Western and the whole world found itself in. With assignments postponed and exam deadlines canceled, some saw an opportunity to party with friends and say goodbye to the school year that was unexpectedly ripped from them. But soon, we learned the pandemic would last more than a few weeks. As classes transitioned online, it became clear that adjusting to this new normal would be an uphill battle. As fall and the return of students approached, London was easing its restrictions. Western was even able to accommodate a hybrid orientation week with many in-person events. These lax restrictions, however, would not last for long. Western's first outbreak was declared on September 13th. The virus's spread was linked to gatherings at bars and restaurants on Richmond Row and at student homes. At least 46 Western students contracted COVID-19, only 1 week after the fall term began. These outbreaks, coupled with the threats of heavy fines by Mayor Ed Holder and academic sanctions from the university, ground what was left of university social life to a halt. Cases continued to climb into October, and with Halloween fast approaching, both the university and the city pleaded with students to avoid large social gatherings. For the most part, their requests were followed, but that didn't stop some from flouting the rules. On October 31st at 1:30 a.m., police were called to an 150-person house party. A 23-year-old man was charged with hosting the party, landing him up to $100,000 in fines. A second man was charged $750 for attending the party. Cases began to rise rapidly towards the end of the fall, and the province entered its second lockdown over the holiday break. Western announced a delay to the start of some in-person classes, meaning that they would resume after reading week instead of January 11th. Residence closed its doors and students were told to stay home if they had left over the winter break. As the lockdowns drew to a close in mid-January, the province imposed a stay-at-home order as cases reached record highs. As Ontarians started staying home and holiday gatherings subsided, the province's new cases began to slow, allowing some classes to reopen and first years to move back into residences as planned. On March 7th, 2 weeks after classes resumed, 7 students in Essex Hall tested positive, and the Middlesex London Health Unit declared an outbreak. 4 days later, the health unit declared another outbreak when 22 students tested positive. 19 lived off campus and 3 on campus. 3 days after that, the health unit announced 23 more students tested positive, bringing the outbreak total to 45 infections. Following St. Patrick's Day celebrations, the outbreaks continued. On just the first 2 days of April, the MLHU has reported that over 50% of the 244 new cases in the London Middlesex region are young adults between the ages of 18 to 22, the age range of many Western students. Provincial data shows that between March 28th and April 3rd, nearly 29% of COVID-19 tests among London residents in the N6A postal code zone came back positive. The zoning district, which includes parts of downtown, Old North, and student neighborhoods around Western, has the highest COVID positive percentage in all of Ontario. Western, as of April 17th, is at the center of 14 separate outbreaks. The majority of these new cases, according to the health unit, are variants of the virus. The newest series of outbreaks has led President Alan Shepard to call for students living in residence to go home if possible, and to shut down many facilities on campus. For the past year, Western students, faculty, and staff have faced a pandemic the likes of which hasn't been seen for 100 years. While vaccines are being rolled out, the coronavirus is still as active a threat as it was when school began in the fall. The unfortunate reality, for Western students, for the school, and the City of London, is that we are ending this hectic school year the same way we started.